Hello, everybody. How are you? And welcome to our show tonight. I'm excited about it. So let's get started. I'm Kath Armstrong, creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. And it is Tuesday, the 18th of May, 2021. This is a YouTube live show. So if you're watching on Tuesday, the 18th of May 2021, this is it. We're live, and I'm excited to welcome you to our channel tonight. So whether you're live with us or watching the replay, I hope you enjoy the show. Now, I've had a really busy day, folks, a really busy day. I was up early this morning and I canned 4 kilos of minced beef. And then I made a quadruple batch of pasta sauce for the freezer. And then I started work. So a really busy day. I'm a bit zonked. So I'm sure you've done something, Beverly. Yes, Paula, we're nice and warm. We have the fire going. We are blessed to have a really good wood fire. It actually heats the whole house. And so once we light it, at the beginning of winter, it stays lit now till we let it go out in spring. Hello, Julie. Hello, Maureen. Hello, Veronica. All righty. So pantries and getting ready for them. This is the first or part one of what I think will be either a 4 or 5 week session on building pantries, why we build them, how to use them, and why, a well-stocked pantry is not only common sense, but will save you a lot of money. So if you'd like to join the live chat, I forgot about this. If you'd like to join the live chat, you need to be logged into your YouTube channel. That's what YouTube calls an account, or your Gmail account. And if you don't have either of those, you can put a question in the comments underneath me here, and I'll do my best to answer it after the show. Now, if you're in live chat and you have a question, if you could please put it in all capital letters so it stands out from the general chat. Otherwise, I might miss it, and I'd hate to have an answer that could help you and not know you've asked the question. Now, I'll do my very best to answer your questions at the end of the show after I've gone through my spiel, and that's just another reason to put them in capitals so they stand out. Now, having a pantry that will feed you and your family is essential. I think we all know that. We all understand that. It's just common sense. A well-stocked pantry is one that will feed you and your family. It will keep you and your family clean and healthy. It will keep your home clean. Won't keep it tidy. Unfortunately, we've got to do that ourselves, but it will keep your home clean. A well-stocked pantry holds food, but it also holds cleaning supplies and toiletries and linens and crockery and pet supplies and needs and garden needs. All sorts of things. A pantry isn't just for food. So where do you start if you want to have a well-stocked pantry? Well, you start with deciding what you need, what you use, and what you like, and what you want to keep in your pantry. Now, sorry guys, but to find this out, you actually do have to do some work. You have to put some effort in. I'm sorry, I can't do it for you. If I could, I wouldn't, because you need to do it so you can learn. But I would certainly work alongside you and encourage you, and that's what I'm going to do now. You need to put some effort in to do this. And it's as simple as doing an inventory. Now, I know I harp on about these a fair bit, but, they're sort of really handy little lists. And if you like making lists, don't think of it as an inventory, just think of it as a list. You are making a list. Okay, so inventory your pantry, inventory your freezer, inventory your fridge, inventory your bathroom cupboards, and then inventory the laundry cupboards, where you keep your cleaning supplies. If you have to inventory the linen cupboard, inventory the linen cupboard. Now, why are you doing this? Because this shows you what you have and how much of each thing you have. And it's a good start towards figuring out what you actually need in your pantries so you know what to get. It'll also show you what you don't ever want to buy again, or what you don't use so often. So you might not need 10 tins of smoked oysters in tomato sauce. So one might do because you only use 1 tin once a year. It'll give you a better picture of just what you need in your house, what you need in your pantry to keep going. Now I'm a pen and paper person, and seriously, I don't think you can beat pen and paper. Pen and paper don't crash, they don't go flat, they just work. They're portable. But look, if you're a digital person, use your phone or your tablet or whatever to do the inventory, to do the list. It doesn't matter as long as you do it. Now, the other thing is electronics don't stick to the fridge with a magnet. Paper does. Now, why would you want it stuck to the front of the fridge? So you can update it as you use things or as you find things in other places, because let's face it, we all have stuff stashed in weird and wonderful places. And because your inventories aren't set in cement, they're a working document, they're fluid. It's a bit like your spending plan or your budget. It's meant to change, and change they will. And change they will often. So you need to be able to quickly and easily track the changes so that you know all the time what needs topping up, how much is on hand, when to look for specials and things. We'll cover all this. Now, the size of your pantry is personal. For me, my pantry needs to hold enough of the basics we use every day to last us for at least 1 year. And it does. Now, right now, I've mentioned this before, I'm restocking as we use things instead of doing my yearly shop. And I'm also looking to increase the size of the pantry to last us 2 years. That would be my dream, 2 years without going shopping. Now, that quantity and that time frame works for me. It works for my family. It works for our situation. You need to decide what will work best for you. Now, I'm not putting you off by not giving you a definite figure, number, whatever. But you live a different lifestyle to me. You live in a different place. You shop at different shops. You have access to different grocers and butchers and greengrocers and department stores and bulk stores. Your family could be a different size. You may have different likes and dislikes to what we have. You may or may not have food intolerances to factor into your food storage. So it is a very personal thing. Now, if you're not sure how big your pantry should be, you're just starting out, I suggest that you aim for enough to cover one pay period. So that just means enough in your pantry to last you one pay period without shopping. So if you get paid weekly, you'll be a week ahead in your pantry. If you get paid fortnightly, then you'll be a fortnight ahead in your pantry. If you get paid monthly, then you will be a month ahead in your pantry. Now that might seem like a lot, especially if you live day to day or week to week. But, building it like that is easy enough for anyone to do it. And, seriously, I don't have a diplomatic bone in my body, so here goes. Seriously, folks, everyone should have at least that much in their pantry to cover emergencies. And an emergency could be something as simple as a sick child and you can't get out. And yes, I know you can get groceries delivered, but there's a fee. And if you have a sick child and you're trying to nurse the child and do an online grocery order and get it in before the cut-off time, it's pretty darn horrible and hard. But it could also be something as simple as the dog eats something in the garden and you've got an enormous vet bill, and so you need that money to pay the vet bill. But if you pay the vet bill, you won't eat because you don't have anything in your pantry. You need a backup, okay? Just a simple backup. Trust me when I say you need to keep at least that much food, at least that much of the basics in your home all the time. And I am standing firm on this. You need to keep your pantry stocked enough to last at least one pay period. So buying what you need as you need it is expensive. And hello, we're cheapskates. We want to live life debt-free, cashed up. We don't want to be spending money unnecessarily. We don't want to be blowing money because we haven't thought ahead, we haven't planned ahead. Someone's bound to ask it, and that's what I'm going to answer now. But how do you work out how much of everything you need? There's no magic formula. I'm sorry, if I had one, I'd share it with you. I'd make a mozza on it. I'd trademark it, patent it, whatever. But there is no magic formula. But chances are you already have a pretty good idea of how much you need to have a well-stocked pantry. You sort of know in the back of your mind what you buy regularly and how much you buy of it. So next time you go shopping, keep your shopping list. It'll have the basics that you use all the time on it: the milk, the bread, the frozen veg, the potatoes, the meat, the shampoo, the pet food, the toilet paper, and so on. Then think about how long you shopped for. Did you shop for a week? Shop for a fortnight? Did you shop for a month or longer? Longer will be good. I'll just have a cup of tea. Sip of my cup of tea. I'm getting a bit hoarse. Let's say you shopped for a week and bought things you use all the time. You know they'll be on the list next time you go shopping, and that's great news because, all you need to do is multiply those things by 2 or 4 or 6 or 12 or however long you want your pantry to last you, however many weeks you want your pantry to last you. It's easy. You can use a calculator. You don't have to do that bit in your head. It's easy. Look, for example, let's use Weet-Bix. We go through a ton of Weet-Bix in our house. In our home, we go through a 1 kilo box of Weet-Bix a fortnight. So I know that's 26 boxes a year. And yes, it will keep that long. It will keep longer on the shelf. So to build up a year's supply of Weet-Bix in the pantry, I need to add 26 boxes to the pantry. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go out and buy 26 boxes of Weet-Bix, bring them home and put them on the shelf. For a start, I don't have the money to do that. I'm pretty sure most of us wouldn't. But I know I need 26 boxes. So if you're aiming for a 1-month pantry supply and you used a box of Weet-Bix a fortnight, then you'd need 2 boxes on the shelf to give you a month. The same principle applies to absolutely everything you use, whether it's food, toiletries, cleaning supplies, gardening needs, things like seeds and fertilizer and so on. Now you don't need to keep everything on hand if you don't want to. Perhaps that's overwhelming to you. Perhaps you're happy to not do that and just keep the basics. If that's the case, have your basics, and then, I suggest you throw in the extra things you need to make 5 or 6 different meals if you couldn't get out. Choose some that suit you: meatloaf, spag bowl, honey mustard chicken, whatever. Because what that means is that whatever happens, you have at least the basics to get you through, and what you need to make a few different meals without worrying about where you'll get the ingredients from. You'll have variety. You'll have options. Remember, when you have ingredients, you have options. It's not rocket science. If I'm doing it, it's not rocket science. Give it a go. But don't make it complicated, because it isn't. It is a very basic system that works to calculate how much of each thing you need in your pantry. It's how I started 27 years ago. It's how I started stockpiling. It's how I started once a month shopping. It works. And it shouldn't take more than half an hour at the most. If it's taking longer to do the inventory and your calculations, you're making it much more difficult than it needs to be. So stop. Go back to the beginning of this video and listen to what I've said again. Then do it. Knowing what you're going to buy and how much you're going to buy for your pantry is the first step to cutting your grocery bill and saving a lot of money. A lot of money. If you're not interested, that's fine. It doesn't matter. If you are, this week, do the inventories, decide how long you'd like to be able to live off your pantry, and if you're so inclined, calculate how much you need of each thing on the inventory to stock the pantry. It's like I said, it's not rocket science. It's pretty simple. It's pretty basic. It just means that you're starting to think about what's going to be in your well-stocked pantry. If you do a lot of baking, you'll have a lot of baking supplies on hand. If you don't bake, then don't have baking supplies on hand. That's a waste of money, a waste of good food, a waste of space. And, pantry space is at a premium. You know how the supermarkets charge a premium for shelving at eye level? Think of your pantry as the same way. It's a premium. Pantry space is money. That's dollars in your pocket. So think about it. Put some thought into it. Do your inventories. You might, as you're inventorying, that's a bit hard to say, you might find that there are things that you don't have on hand right now that you'll need coming up. Now, it's a bit like a summer and a winter shopping list. I have a summer shopping list and a winter shopping list because we eat different things. In summer, the shopping list has obviously more salad, vegetables and things on it. In winter, it has more soup and stew type vegetables on it, for instance. They're just slightly different, but the basics stay the same. The bread, the butter, the cheese, they all stay the same. They don't change year round. In winter, we have more rolled oats. In summer, we use more cold cereal like the Wheat Bix or Riceys on the weekend. So it's doing your inventory now, you'll be doing one coming into winter. So if you're only planning for a winter pantry, it's going to last you 3 months or so, that's fine. But if you want to extend your pantry, include some of the things that perhaps you've used over summer. Add them to your list. But like I said, don't overcomplicate it. It's not difficult. Now, let me see. Back up here. And where are Kathy says she's doing a pantry challenge at the moment, gets nervous when it's running down, but she's saving for a new oven. You'll love your new oven when you get it. Okay. You have a goal for doing your pantry challenge, and I know over in the members forum we're doing a pantry challenge for May. I'm trying to clear freezer space. As you use things, Kathy, as you use things up, if it's something that you would normally use all the time, add it to your list. So when it comes time to restock, once you've got your new oven and saved up, you'll know exactly what you've got to get, and then you won't be guessing. Now that helps because you don't end up with stuff that gets put to the back of the cupboard and not used. And I know we are all guilty of doing that. I found, I don't even know where it came from, but I found a packet of this seasoning, sort of vegetable seasoning stuff. And I'm thinking it would have been given to me because I can't imagine I would have bought it. But it was at the back of the cupboard. Now, it had been obviously in the box with all my other bits and pieces, and it's fallen out and it's just been left there and ignored. So I checked the date on it, and it was only like 6 years out of date. So I figured, it's herbs and spices. They're not going to go bad. So I tossed it in the soup pot. It was actually quite nice. So you won't get stuck with stuff like that if you keep your shopping list on the fridge and keep it going like that. All right, now. Carrie says the housework fairies need to be sacked. Yeah. Hello, Priya. We haven't seen you for a long time. Now, our work organisation has been hacked. We haven't had access to computers for almost 4 weeks. Pen and paper is the way of things at the moment. Yes. Look, pen and paper can't be hacked. It can be lost. It can be burnt. It can get accidentally tossed in the rubbish, but it can't be hacked. Seriously, it's portable. Pen and paper all the way. It's actually more convenient than trying to peck things out with one finger or a thumb or 2 thumbs on a phone or a tablet. Pen and paper all the way. Lucinda, menu planning has helped. Menu planning's great. When you were doing your menus, did you realise that you eat a lot of the same stuff, just served different ways? That was a bit of an eye-opener for me way back when. And I realised that I bought the same thing over and over and over every week. It was pretty much the same things on the shopping list. It was just the way they were prepared that was different. So menu planning is a bit the same. You'll look at what you've got on your menu, and there's probably, 2 or 3 things will all have pretty much the same basic ingredients in them. It's just how they're put together and how they're served that makes them different. Kerry says each of her recipes makes multiple meals for us, e.g. a leg of lamb. We're up to meal 5 and still have enough for another dish. The other night 1 cup of diced meat went to 2 large pasties. Yep, I do the same. Leg of lamb, we have it roast the night it's cooked. Then the meat is sliced off and put into a container with gravy and put into the freezer for another roast dinner. If there's enough, there's still meat on the bones usually then, that's chipped off, and it will either go into a sweet lamb curry or a French shepherd's pie, and then the bone is used to make stock. Now, if I make soup from the stock, we will get 2 or 3 meals out of the soup. If I just use the stock to cook rice or pasta, then it's only another meal out of it. I think I did a show about this a couple of years ago maybe, how we can make roasts affordable, and that's how we do it. We use it all. Nothing goes to waste, and even the pan drippings get used to make gravy. Nothing goes to waste. And I wanted lamb for Mother's Day dinner, So we had a leg of lamb. It's the most, I thought the one we had for Wayne's birthday last year was expensive. This one was $44. $44 for a leg of lamb. And I was seriously tossing up not even getting it, simply because, not that I didn't have the money for it, but I couldn't get my head around paying that much for just one piece of meat. I did. Hannah pointed out, I wanted it, we could afford it, or I could afford it, and we ditch the things that aren't important to us so that we've got the money to have the things that are. So it did make sense, but boy, I've stretched that for a long few meals. So there's 5 of us, so that'll be 5, 10, 15, at least 20 serves from the one leg of lamb. Yeah. Stretching expensive cuts is, I think that's going to become more and more important to us. Meat is getting really expensive. Now, I know a lot of you have already noticed that. We talk about it often here and on Cheapskates Chatter on Facebook and in the forum. We talk about how much it costs. And even good old sausages, those plain old mystery bags are expensive. They're like $5 a kilo for a plain old, literally a mystery bag, because it's just called barbecue sausage. Who knows what's in it? $5 a kilo. Really expensive. So we need to stretch the meat that we have so that we can still have it and enjoy it without going broke. The other thing that we can do is really pay attention to portion sizes. Now, I know I harp on about this a bit much too, but that's another way of getting more meat for your dollar. A portion is between 180 and 200 grams of steak or chop or roast meat, something like that. Probably about the size of the palm of my hand. And I do have big hands, so it's a reasonable size and probably yay thick. And that's a portion. That's enough. That's enough for a grown man, an adult. Children get less. We have become so used to everything being huge, enormous, supersized, large, extra large, loaded, whatever, that, if the steak doesn't take up 3/4 of the plate, then we feel ripped off. Apart from the fact that that's far too much red meat for one sitting, that's really a lot of money that we're eating that we don't need to eat. Stretch your meat with veggies. A well-cooked steak, even if it's just a small piece like that, is properly cooked and served with really nice veggies, looks good on the plate. People pay $80, $90 for it in a restaurant. So we need to think about things like that to make our meats go further too. Maybe I need to do a show on stretching meats. Now, Chris. Oh, hello, Chris. I'm so glad you work day shifts and can join us on Tuesday nights. That's really nice. And then Kerry, I've lost you again. Uh-oh. Kerry, last night she did honey mustard chicken, 3 serves on rice with enough frozen veg, enough frozen for another 3 serves. Yep. Cool. And she's going to make fried rice tomorrow night. I love fried rice. Fried rice is such an easy meal. Hello, Yvonne. Now, oh, Priya, you have another baby. Oh, congratulations. That's so exciting. Congratulations. I didn't know, but I'm really pleased for you. She'll be saving for a new car. Yep. Oh, do you know what? If you've got a newborn and a toddler, you don't want to be going shopping, Priya. So just stay home. Use the pantry, stay home. You've already paid for it. This is sort of, you've already paid for it, so use it. An example, you'll just have to do a bit of a mind switch here. We have the wood fire. Now, we collect firewood. We go out and collect firewood, but occasionally we have to buy it, which means that we buy it and we pay for it when we get it delivered, and that's fine. But we also have gas ducted heating. Now, I prefer the wood fire. I think it gives a better heat in the house, and it actually heats the whole house much more efficiently than the gas ducted heating does. So the other morning, it was very cold here. Really, really cold. I think it might have been our coldest morning so far this year. And when I got up, the fire was going, but then I noticed that Wayne had actually turned the ducted heating on too. And I turned it off. And he said, oh, but it's cold. I mean, but let's use what we paid for first before we use something that we're going to have to pay for, going to get a bill for. Use what's in your pantry before you go and buy extra. He got the message loud and clear. Don't mess with my gas bill. Anyway, so, right. You can stretch minced dishes with lentils. Yes, Kathleen. Depends on the lentils. Not all lentils lend themselves to stretching. Some of them end up too mushy. All right. IGA sales and stocked up on silver side and legs of lamb. Otherwise, we just couldn't afford to eat meat. Yep. And -5. Kathleen, yeah. It's cold. The coldest we've had was -7. It was pretty cold. It was a bit frosty that day. Yeah. Now, this morning, I got up early and I had some, I had 5 kilos of mince and what else did I have? 5 kilos of mince. Can't think. I did something else. Anyway, I pressure canned 4 kilos of it to put on the pantry shelf. And then I used the last kilo to make a quadruple batch of pasta sauce to put in the fridge. So that kept me out of mischief this morning. And it was good because I was able to get the mince for $8.99 a kilo, which around here lately has been pretty much the cheapest it's been. I did see some for $7.99, and I'm usually not that fussy about mince because of the way I cook it, but I didn't. It was the wrong colour, so I passed on that. It just didn't look right to me, so I was stuck with this $8.99 mince. We've had chicken fillets for $6.99 the last couple of weeks, which isn't too bad. They've been really big, so that means that one will feed us easily if it's diced up or minced or whatever. So, yeah. All right. Now, Kerry took advantage of the IGA sales. IGA sales are really, really good. If you haven't signed up on their website to get their flyer sent to you, their special sent to you, if you have an IGA handy, it is worth doing. Occasionally, they have really, really, really good prices. Now, I will say Costco still has Silverside corned beef at Costco is still $8.99 a kilo, and so is the mince. And the Costco mince isn't too bad. Not a lot of water in it and not a lot of fat in it. Now, Chris Miller, I use my spare bedroom wardrobe as my big pantry, but I'm determined to reorganise it on my days off so I have a clearer picture of exactly what I have. Do it with a pen and paper and make notes. People worry about where they're going to put all this food. And I guess if you buy a lot of packets and jars and tins, then you need a lot of space. But if you buy ingredients, you don't really. The thing that takes up the most space in my pantry is tea bags, because I like a particular brand of tea, and when it comes on sale, I wait till it's on half price sale, and then I will buy 10 boxes to put in the pantry. And of course, they just have to stack up. Cereal used to take a fair whack of space, but now we're not eating as much. The kids aren't at school anymore. They're all finished, and so they don't have cereals as much. Cereal tends to be a weekend thing. The one I do keep all the time is the Aldi version of All Bran, because that's what Wayne likes for his breakfast. He'll eat it as a snack out of the box. So I do have that, and we go through that I keep about 15 boxes a year we go through of that. So that takes up a bit of space too, but otherwise it doesn't take up a lot of room in the house. So if you're worried about space for your well-stocked pantry, don't be. It doesn't take up that much space. It's not, we're certainly not falling over stuff. Well, we are falling over stuff. It's Hannah's stuff for when she moves out, but we're not falling over, boxes of cereal and piles of toilet paper and bundles of soap or whatever. It works well. Alrighty, now, where am I? Back here. So is everyone clear on how to work out how much you need? Really simple, it really is. Get your shopping list. If that's what you buy all the time, decide how long you want your pantry to last for, be it a week, a fortnight, a month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever, and simply multiply that quantity. Now, the advantage of doing that is that sometimes, you might, we'll go back to the Wheat Bix that I use, 26 boxes of Wheat Bix. And for some reason, maybe we've been away on holidays or something, and we haven't used as much Wheat Bix. It's not a problem. It just means that when I go to restock, I don't need to get as much because we've already got some on hand. Once your pantry is at the level you want it to be, then you go into maintenance mode. And that's the fun part, because then you just shop for the things to replace what you've used. And if it's not on sale, you just transfer it over to the next week's shopping list. Maintenance mode is really good. Yes, Priya, Hannah will still be helping with shows once she moves out, way out. Yes, she will. She's working tonight, so taking the work while she can get it. Every little extra dollar helps. Yeah, right. Okay, I think I've waffled on long enough. If you liked our show, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. That would be really good. Thank you. It helps our YouTube rankings, keeps us up there. If you know someone who you think might like the show, who might be struggling with keeping their pantry full, or who might benefit from knowing a bit about Cheapskates Club, please use the share button. It's just down there too, the share link, and it will send them the link. And then they can watch if they want to. What else? Nothing else? No? Okay. I'll be back next Tuesday, same time, with another show, part 2 of my series on how to have a well-stocked pantry all the time. I hope you can join me then too. Have a great week, everybody. Stay warm. Do your inventories. As you're inventorying, do your sums so you know how much you want to keep in your pantry. And I shall see you next Tuesday.